everyone. This is our podcast, Sisters on Love, Life, and Keeping It Real. I am Stephanie, the CEO of MissAdventures.com. I am a self-love and relationship coach and expert. I'm also #1 best-selling author, and I'm here with my sister, Tanya, who is also an author. We've been upcoming, or not upcoming, it's already out. I keep saying upcoming because it just feels so new to us.
Yes, we've been waiting
but the
and
book is
waiting.
out. Oh my gosh. And it's called Miss Adventures Guide to Ultimate Empowerment for Women. Harness your power and thrive in every area of your life. It's an extraordinary book so that women out there know that they are not alone in their circumstances and experiences and traumas. Amazing stories and practices that each author shares, which is just awesome. And this is also why our podcast has come to fruition as well, because we want to be able to talk and share about anything and everything. And of course, if you have topics out there that you're like, oh my gosh, they haven't touched on this, leave us a message so that we can make sure that we talk on that topic that you have been wanting, or maybe you have a question about. That's what we're here for. So what are we talking about today?
Okay, ladies, get your favorite drink, get comfortable, and let's jump right into it. Are you expected to say yes after he has already committed? So that's a good one, because that covers a whole realm of areas
It
that
really
someone
does.
can commit to prior to you getting information that that's what you've committed to.
And this can be a tricky one, especially depending on your situation. So for instance, even if you're married and you have a husband that's constantly saying, yes, we're going to say work stuff, and doesn't tell you, it could be, oh, I've got this work event and sorry, you're staying home with the kids because I've committed to this. Yes. And you just need to be yes and happy for me. It can go from that degree, right? But can also go to a degree if you are in a blended family and there's a lot of yes going on when it comes to children, right? And commitments that your partner is making that you're like, wait, I thought we were doing this. And all of a sudden things are changing. And then you look like the bad person if you're not on board with that yes that he's already committed to, or she.
Yeah. Yes.
And it can be very frustrating in a relationship because then that can cause this battle of, you know, your partner feeling that you're not being supportive, but then you're also feeling you're not being supportive because they're not communicating and discussing with you first before the yes occurs, right? And even saying like, hey, Tanya, hey, Stephanie, how do you feel about this? Are you on board? Sure. Okay, then let's agree to this.
Right. Because in a kid's situation, I agree with what you're saying, Stephanie. In a kid's situation, when you're dealing with children decision-making, so that means another parent is involved, obviously. And when another parent changes the plans last minute, according to what works for them, or maybe they're bitter and maybe they're just doing the shit to be in the way, right? And that's a whole nother topic. And trust me, ladies, we will be touching on that.
Oh yeah,
right. But when someone changes things and the person says yes before talking to you, what people fail to realize is it's not just about the kids, right? Because normally what we're talking about here is men on the other end of it, right? It's like, oh, it's about the kids. You know, it's like, no, it's not. That ain't why she's doing that, right? It has nothing to do with the kids.
Right.
So it makes you look as though you don't care, right, about their kids because you won't accept the change, right? But that really has nothing to do with it. When they make a change, no matter what that is, if you're picking kids up at a different time frame or you didn't have them this weekend, but now you do, things like that. You didn't have them over the week. Now you're going to have them for a whole week because it's spring break, but maybe you didn't realize that that was what was going to happen. That wasn't the original plan for this.
Or you just found out about a sports game, right? That you're like, oh, I thought I was going to have a relaxing Sunday. And now I have to be rushing off and drive 45 minutes away to watch a lacrosse game. And by the way, I support all of that as you do too with your children. And these are not my children, but I am motherly taking care of, you know, one lives with us full time for over 3 years now. It's not a matter of like, no, I don't want to do this. It's a matter of why was I told last minute? And why did you say yes last minute before even discussing with me and saying, hey, this is our weekend. So we're actually going to say no, because during our weekend, we do a ton of stuff with the kids. Or like you said, all of a sudden it's like, okay, I have to pick a child up. Well, obviously we're not going to leave a child just stranded there. However, when you're constantly saying yes for me and saying, oh yes, Stephanie's going to go do it, that's not okay. Or yes, Tanya's going to do it, that's not okay. Or Suji, you know, whatever. It doesn't matter who the person is.
Right.
It's just when that yes is already there and you're like, I didn't say I wanted to do that, or And it could be something as simple as like having people over, right? That you're relaxed and you don't want people over. And all of a sudden your partner's like, hey, by the way, I'm having a bunch of guys over. And you're like, oh, that's great.
Right.
You said yes. And now
anything that can change your moment. If it's kids, you have to understand that when you make that decision, and we're talking mainly really if you live together, right? Your decision affects us, not just you.
Oh yeah.
It affects you if you live on your own, right? And they come see you and we're dating, right? And so I come by as well. And maybe this weekend ain't going to work for me to come by. It ain't affecting me per se, right? It's affecting you. But when you live together as a unit, anything you decide, if we're having them longer, it changes the income level, it changes the grocery bill, it changes the whatever's going on, it changes and generally as women, it changes my expectations of what I need to do as a woman, right? You're helping with showers and meals and cleanup. And so you are adding into what that looks like. So it changes for both of you. And that's why the respect of that yes thing without conferring with your partner first can be frustrating and can be hindering to the relationship, depending on what it is. And you also think about it.
It can affect sexy time. Let's keep it real, women.
Oh yeah.
Like if you are a blended family, especially, or you're with somebody that, either you have kids, they have kids, but you guys, you both don't maybe have kids the same time. Maybe your days off are the same because that's what you've decided to do. But then all of a sudden he's like, oh yeah, my kids can stay this extra weekend. It does hold a barrier. I mean, I have a healthy sex life with my partner. However, it does get, interrupted, right? When I'm thinking like, I'm going to have this weekend alone time and it doesn't happen because there is a yes in the conversation without discussing. And that can happen in any relationship. It doesn't make that person is a bad person. What it does is it's, again, using our voice to say, that's not okay. If we're going to parent together and if we're going to be a successful household, then we need to communicate before you say yes. And make sure that's okay with my schedule too, because the yeses can also happen when you say no to something with a child. They go to that person, whether it's their parent or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe their kid might come to me. Their dad already said no. And then I'm thinking, oh, they're coming to me, asking me for the first time. And maybe it's reverse. I'm saying yes to something he said no. So that's why it's really important to be on the same page, regardless of what it is and what that yes is. Never say that yes for both of you. Discuss it first, because that's going to make you a stronger couple. That's going to make your foundation as a family even stronger. And that's what's going to help your relationship survive even longer.
Because if you're always just the yes person after, you begin to tend to live for that person. I mean, it's no longer about you. It is really becomes all about them. And that's in, like you said, job stuff. So work stuff, if it's taken away from us, if it's company, and what does that look like? A happy medium so that I can be comfortable in my home versus, you move different when there's company, or you're up in one room, stuck while they hang out. So different things in that sense. With kids, when it's another parent involved and things change, it's a respect level. It's almost like you're respecting that other parent more than you're respecting us. And you're allowing that other parent to disrespect us as well. And that's a whole nother, trust me.
That's going to be a whole nother podcast.
Because that is a big deal.
That is a big deal.
It does become a respect. It becomes a like, who are you building with, me or them? You know what I mean? Because we're in this. And so, but it's funny how they got so much pull. So it really is just overall, it's your team, or it starts to break the team down.
There's no I in team, people.
Together. No
I in team. So thank you for joining us. Obviously, our podcast, there's so many different entities that are going to be growing from all of these, because clearly we got a lot to say and a lot to talk about. And again, we're so happy that you all are here. We love each and every one of you for supporting us. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes. And just remember, ladies, that every successful woman had at least one strong woman behind you, encouraging you and strengthening you to be stronger in your growth. And just know that eventually we will be opening our podcast up for communication, conversation with others. You can ask questions. We want you to know that this is a non-judgmental space. We are here to encourage. We are here to maybe give a word of wisdom to younger ladies that need that, even older ladies that maybe not haven't experienced something we did, or you did and didn't know how to deal with it. We're just here to be open, to be raw. This is a safe place for us to grow, for us to all learn, including us ourselves, and just to have some lady time. So until next time, ladies.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye.